mean, right before I actually left the corporate job, we started putting boundaries around how we're going to work because we
Yeah.
didn't want to be like just driving. And so one of the first boundaries we created was actually Kaylee asked me this question. This is before I left the company. She said, "Do you want to travel a lot?" Because she saw that there's potential for speaking and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so she asked me, "Do you want to travel a lot for this?" And it made me think, and I'm like, not that much. I said, I like speaking, I like traveling, but at least for work, I don't want to be just traveling. I like to be home too. And our pastor travels a lot.
Yeah, he's like constantly. He's usually at church on Sundays, but the rest of the week he's traveling the world.
Wow.
And so I was like, I don't want to be like our pastor. And so I said, 1 week out of the month. I said, I'm good with being on the road for 1 week out of the month, being home 3 out of 4 weeks, right? So that was actually the first boundary I created. And so it's interesting, speaking to everybody else, you need to create these boundaries because if you don't, the life and business is just going to creep in and fill up every aspect of your life. And you're not going to have a life anymore. And you're going to be driven by the things as opposed to, are you living the life you want? Mm-hmm. And so part of that, as we go into business, was start to establish those boundaries, like how much we want to travel. And I've never had to test that boundary of travel when speaking because now she's usually with me. We're invited together.
But at the same time, when we were doing the vision, I don't want to travel constantly. Be gone. I know my energy level, and I like to travel for pleasure, but for work, what I mean? Like some people, like they just go conference to conference to conference, and they're just inside rooms. But there's nothing wrong with that. The conference room, that's not me because I don't have the energy and the stamina to do that. I want to do some other things. So I thought I got to find out what I'm getting into before, we get started here. And so that's when you said you didn't have that desire either.
Yeah. So the boundary on travel and then how many clients we wanted to serve every month.
That's cool.
So we run a frame, like how we use the busy word, how busy do we want to be? But I want to make sure as we're building this business, let's do it in a way that we enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we get to serve people. And then we just charge the relative amount to make sure we can make a living while not serving a lot. And in fact, when we're not busy, going back to back with clients, we actually get to serve our clients better. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't want to be that consultant that if a client says, hey, I need to talk, and say, okay, 3 weeks from now we can talk.
Totally.
Right? We're in a space that, again, we don't serve that many clients at a time. So which means if a client texts me and says, hey, can I talk? And I said, hey, I got a moment now, or hey, later this afternoon, I've got a nice block of time we can talk. And I don't have to put people off. And I don't charge them extra for that. It's just, we charge enough to be able to do that, right? To have that time. And so the quality of our work actually goes up because we're not busy, right? We're very productive in what we do. So the boundaries is a huge thing that we created in our business so we can frame how we want to do business and make sure we had the time to enjoy each other. And then if we do travel for business, like even when we went to Christian Chamber of Commerce, we got in a day early, left 2 days later. Because we want to enjoy this time when we're there as opposed to just going.
Yeah.
And we're about building relationships. So we want to get to know our clients and have time for them. It's not just what's the number, the maximum we can take and we just want more. It's like, no.
Yeah. I think that there's a huge gift in that because one, the relationships that do build from that are such lifelong, endeavors. And two, you are in client acquisition mode all the time, right? You can tell when those people are they've got radars on, they're like, bing. Oh, they're a client. Oh, that's a client. And I'm always like, stay away from me. I am not your next client. I can promise you that. And so it's can we just be friends? Can we just hang out? Can we just serve one another out of our gifts and our talents? And maybe not even that. Maybe we just hang out and that's okay too. We just have a good time. And I can tell that you guys are those kind of people. And I'm a people watcher. And at the conference, just watching the way you guys give people your energy so genuinely is very apparent. And I love how you guys riff off of each other in such a cute way. It's really fun to watch. It calls me home to my spouse. So that's what it's definitely, your brand is on point. Whether you worked at it or not intentionally. I'm like, look at their little brand, their little ecosystem.